Welcome everyone to the CGO AVA Winter League 2016 preview show. I'm Ink and I'll be giving you guys all the details of the Winter League, the teams competing, the groups, and the prizes, and the format. So let's just go over the format first of all. This is going to be the first of 4 seasonal leagues for 2016. This is named the Winter League, of course. So basically it's very similar to the Nations Challenge that we had back in August of 2015. It's best of 5 games. You have 3 weeks of group stage, and then you have 3 weeks of playoffs. So you have 16 teams in 4 groups of 4 for the group stage, and then the best 2 teams of each group, and then go off to the playoffs, and to where they compete in a single elimination bracket. So we have a lot of teams competing. Your favorite teams, of course, competing. They're competing because we have ton of great prizes, actually. 12,000 AP for first, exclusive VIP items for first, second, third, and fourth, which means you can only get those items if you place top 4, top 3 in these special events that only happen every so often a year. So shout out to Area Games for providing those. So those are the prizes. That's the format. So the teams competing: Celsius Global, Roki Heat, and Fire Pizza. You guys love those guys. Of course they're competing. So let's show you guys all the groups right now. So here you can see on the screen, you can see Group A, Group B, C, and D. For Group A, we have Roka Heat, Victiz, Kimia, and Nefast. And then Group B, we have Global, Wendy, Hollows, Siren. Group C is Fire Pizza. Name might be changed. I don't know what they're doing with that. Go Mayhem, Thugs in Pajamas, Irakur. And Group D, of course, is Celsius, Twix, Day Esport, and Venture. As you can see, Celsius, Fire Pizza, Global, and Roki Heat all got that first seat inside of the group. So let's take a look at the rosters for now. Celsius, we have Sibilet, Cold Owner, Timmy, Mankey, and Dolaprane. Notice there's no double elite there. He was dropped in favor of Mankey, or he just didn't want to play. Read the Celsius interview if you want to know. For Global, we have Epi, Cyphers, Taz, Kimpa, and Delcor. As you can see, Cyphers and Kimpa coming from the Andromeda lineup. Excited to see how they play it out. Over on Roki Heat, we have Wicked, Kybal, Cactus, Rocky Memo, and Nakaz. 3 of those players have been playing on Roki Heat for a while. Really excited to see how they start playing in 2016. And of course, we get the Fire Pizza, Mangost, Anju, Petaways, Mashik, and Zek. Very exciting lineup. Really excited to see where that team is going to go as well. Then we have Go Mayhem, iNorQ, Shaden, Norway, Shelby Rose, and Julio. One Dink, the only North American team that we have, is I'm Jekyll, Brev, One Shot King, Studlock, and Kankito. And then we have Twix, Right Twix, Tiny, SC, Left Twix, and Miha. Vectix is iPinky, Z Kenya, Z Crusher, Hygro, and Clork. Kimia is Namiz, XX, Peek Me, Mark, Calypto. And then over on Hollows is Crazy Berry, MT, Mountain, 1324, Androgen, Visca, and X-Beast. Day Esport is O2K, Raccoon, Chiwu, Sten K, and Sigu. Thugs in Pajamas is of course Dr. Boom, Insane, The Fun Base, Killer Salt, and King Flubby. Over on Rakur, we have Rosie, Brave, Konzi, Gentex, Rigar. And Venture, we have Veto, and Seizure, Don Silvios, Nautic, and Donsby. Siren, we have Rage, Kaijin, Chuck, Soul Sparta, and I've Forgotten. And for Nefast, we have Vintage, Zippy, Keisha, Guess Who, and Spexity. So those are all the teams and the rosters that are competing. There are 16 of them. But let's dial into Group A and really talk about how we think this is going to go, at least from my opinion. So Group A, we have Roki Heat, Vectix, Kimia, and Fast. So I want to talk about Roki Heat, actually. They were a team that was from 2015. They've been playing a lot, competed in a lot of tournaments. They never really broke into the top 3. Of course, there was always Celsius, Global, and Andromeda there. And they weren't a definitive top 4 either. They'd have very varying placements. Other teams outside of the top 6 would beat them sometimes. They'd have a really hard time on certain maps. So now, without Andromeda in the picture, is it Roki Heat's time to shine? Are they going to be able to, break into that top 3? Are they going to fill that spot? Are they going to maybe stay as a definitive top 4 for now? We won't really know until this seasonal league is over, but it's going to be really exciting to see how they play it out. They could even succumb to the other teams that have formed after Andromeda has closed down. So it's really exciting to see how Rocket Heat's going to perform and what they're going to be capable of. As for the other three teams, Vectix, Kimia, and Nefast, we can go over their player history or their team history or their past performances, but they've had even more of a variable performance than Rocket Heat has. So this group is really going to be a testament for these teams to, stand up and show to the world that they're the second best team in this group, that they're better than these other three teams, that they're actually part of the top 8 teams in AVA and not somewhere off in top 12 or top 16. So this is a really fascinating group to watch throughout the Winter League. Really excited to watch how these three teams are going to play. Definitely don't miss any of their matches, as they are quite new as well. To the stream, I should say. So then let's talk about Group B a little bit. We have Global, One Dink, Hollows, and Siren. So let's talk about Global a little bit. Global, they have Cyphus and Kimpa now. They have Surreal left and Petaways left as well. So we're going to have to see if Global can remain as the best team as they were in the last half of 2015. If these roster changes are going to change the team dynamic enough that maybe there'll be a third, fourth team. Maybe if Rocket Heat can come out of the group stage, maybe we'll have to see how Global can play then. But for this group, it's really the testament is going to be One Dink. We saw how One Dink could play in the qualifier. They played really well on one map, but then they kind of failed on the other maps. So we'll talk about that. But really, that is the team that Global needs to be wary about. Global, with the star performance that they have, I mean, they have really top players. It's not just a team that's really good. They have really individually skilled players, and that's kind of like the team that they were in 2015. So with that in mind, I don't think they're ever going to have a problem with Hollows or Siren. One Dink, though, One Dink was showing that they just watch Studlock play from those highlights or from those VODs. He was going absolutely crazy against some of these teams. Even with having 100 ping. So, I mean, Global and One Dink, that's really going to be the matchup we need to watch. But yeah, One Dink, they're the NA team. I'm excited to see how they're going to play. We saw them play really well on just one map, and then they kind of failed miserably on the other maps that they played in the qualifier, as I already stated. Remember, this is all best of 5 matches, so you can't really, get away with winning the first map, losing the other team's map pick, and getting lucky with the third map, whichever it may be. You really have to win 3 maps in order to win the best of 5 series. So maybe that'll be a problem for One Dink, but they definitely have the individual skill and the team play. I mean, they were using the buddy system more than I've ever seen Global use the buddy system. So they're somewhere in between a Celsius and a Global team, but we just need to see them play more and see if they can actually reach that level through their play. Hollows and Siren, I mean, it's the same as Group A again. They just need to perform well and show us that they can compete with everyone, that they are a top 8 team, and so on. So we definitely do need to watch those games, see how they play, see if there's any hype to go off of. But let's hop on board to Group C. So Fire Pizza, Go Mayhem, Thugs in Pajamas, and Rat Core. Fire Pizza, this is the team that has Manghost and Petaways. So Petaways was the previous starter for Global, and Manghost was the pickup scope that they used for Japan. So he was basically like a sub that filled in. Manghost, really good player under pressure. Petaways, very consistent rifle. You definitely know what you're going to get with him. But on the other team players they have is Zek and Mashik. Zek is just a consistent player all around. Mashik is very up and coming. Like, he's been getting better every cup he's played. Incrementally, so it's really cool to see how he's going to be able to play. He's now going to be of age to compete in these international qualifiers. So that's something we also had to mention about Global 2. Delcor is now of age as well. So these two players are kind of coming into the scene, and like they can actually take it seriously. They can expect to go somewhere. So that's what Fire Pizza is on. I think that's one of the best teams to look out for. One of the best potentially new teams to form for the new year for the seasonal league. Their name might change. Not sure exactly what they're going to do about that, but we're really excited to see how they're going to play against Go Mayhem, Thugs in Pajamas, and Iraq Core. And I would assume they'd make it to the playoffs, so really excited. Hopefully they make it there so we can see how they play against the other teams in a best of 5. So we have Go Mayhem, Thugs in Pajamas, and Iraq Core. Go Mayhem used to be a really solid team, but their current lineup isn't as good as that previous lineup that we used to see competing. They're still like they can definitely place top 8, no problem at all. The issue is, in a best of 5, are they going to be able to beat out Thugs and Pajamas and Iraq Core? Because we haven't really seen these two other teams play so well that much, so we really don't know what to expect from them. Go Mayhem though, they've been around, like those players on this team have been around for a while. They know how to play AVA, so as long as they can play at that consistent level, they should have no problem. But again, Thugs and Pajamas and Iraq Core, same as Hollows and Siren and the 3 teams in Group A, it's their time to shine. This is a seasonal league. They need to show that they can, play through the weeks, win the maps. If they can take, a series off of Fire Pizza or Go Mayhem, they will probably be guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, or at least force a tiebreaker between the 2 teams. So really interested to see how that's going to turn out. And that's really just a general theme throughout this entire Winter League, is that, yeah, you have the 4 teams, maybe 5 teams that you could just predict to be top 5, but you have all these other teams that need to kind of figure out where they are from 4 to 8 and 8 to 12, and that's kind of the whole point of this league. So let's go over to Group D. We have Celsia, Twix, Day Esport, and Venture. Celsia, the top team that made the least amount of changes. It's only Devil Lead who's left the team. So Mankey's going to be a full player on the team with Dolaprane, Timmy, Coldoner, and Sublet, of course. So it's going to be cool to see. I mean, they were the most consistent team in 2015, so even with one player change, and they've played with all these players before, you'd still expect them to perform as consistently as they did before. And maybe even give them advantage over other teams like Global or whoever made changes. So Celsia, consistency, I mean, it's going to be pretty boring watching them just, play the same usual level as before. But we'll be excited to see them play regardless. Twix, Day Esport, and Venture. It's the exact same thing I said about Group A. These 3 teams, they need to find a platform and hold their ground and just beat out the other teams. They need to see whichever team here can take, maybe a game off of Celsia, or even 2 maps off of Celsia, will probably find themselves probably in the top 2 of this group at the end of the 3 weeks. So looking forward to how these 3 teams all are going to pan out. And again, as I said before, that's really the key fundamental thing about this entire Winter League, is that there's 3 or 2 teams in each group that need to figure out where they are and how good they want to be. And over 3 weeks, that's what we're going to find out. So hopefully, guys, that gave you guys a good overview and backstory of all the teams. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments of the video here. But that's going to be it for the preview show. We're going to have a week 1 analysis or prediction show coming up on Saturday or Sunday. Basically, it'll be me and whoever else is available at the time. We'll do the matchups, the 8 games that we have coming on from February 7th to February 13th, I think. So we'll go over those teams. We'll go over the rosters and the matchup, like player versus player, which team has better maps, stuff like that. We'll go much more in depth over that stuff on Saturday and Sunday, so stay tuned for that. And then after that week 1, we'll do an analysis of a few of the games that were, highlight worthy, that were really cool, that were really surprising, any upsets. May not go over all games, but we'll try to just do a general overview of how the standings are and stuff like that. We'll do that for week 2 and week 3. Playoffs, we'll have a preview show, weekly analysis as well. And don't forget, on the CGO website, the link is down here somewhere. You can go there. There's the Winter League survival guide, of course. We've already had Celsia and Global interviews. We have a Roka Heat and Fire Pizza interview coming up within the next few days, so make sure you guys tune into the site for that. And there's going to be so much more content for you guys to tune in throughout the next week and throughout the entire Winter League. So make sure you guys catch all the games on the CGO Media on Twitch. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook, and stay up to date. And have fun with this entire new format. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It should be much more entertaining for you guys to watch these games instead of just being crowded into a 2-day cup. And we'll see you guys next time.